Here's your wrestling news for January 30th, 2023, and we're kicking off today with the Royal Rumble, as the show ended with one of the best segments we've seen in years. Sami Zayn's exit from the Bloodline, as well as the possible departure of Jey Uso, ended an exceptional main event, and the crowd certainly made their views on Roman Reigns clear, with loud "F you Roman" chants echoing in the Alamo Dome. On Twitter, WWE referee Jessica Carr shared what happened after the show, uploading a photo of both Zayn and Kevin Owens going to the back. Owens, who had suffered a serious assault by the Bloodline, had to be helped to the back, and in the heartbreaking moment, fans can see Sami looking on with concern in his eyes for his friend. Sami's refusal to attack Owens and instead attack Roman Reigns has elevated the now former honorary Uso to being the top babyface of the company, and the Rumble captured the level of love and respect he and Owens share. Judging by what happened at the Royal Rumble, it's only a matter of time before Sami and KO join forces again to wage war against the Bloodline, so expect plenty more exceptional matches and moments in this epic feud. Sami turning on the Bloodline comes nearly a year after he first tried to curry favor with Roman Reigns, but what does the Tribal Chief make to all this? In a video uploaded to TikTok, Reigns confirmed Sami's exit, saying you're either Bloodline or you're not. Sami Zayn had his loyalty to the Bloodline tested repeatedly, but the Royal Rumble proved to be too much for the Canadian superstar, and we'll have to wait and see what the Bloodline, Sami, and Owens have to say about what unfolded in Texas. With Reigns retaining the undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Kevin Owens, all eyes turned to WrestleMania and a match with Cody Rhodes. Rhodes' win in the 30-man Royal Rumble match may have been predicted, but that didn't make it any less compelling, but he also suffered an injury during the match. Thankfully, it's nothing as serious as a torn pectoral, but while speaking in a WWE digital exclusive, Cody revealed he popped his eardrums during the match. "Don't tell anyone, don't put it on a medical report, but I popped my eardrums. So what a night not to hear that much. But I could hear them loud enough, and it's a beautiful moment." Cody's return was epic, and though he's now committed to WWE, eagle-eyed fans may have spotted his shout-out to his friends in the Elite. While celebrating his victory, Cody threw the "too sweet" hand gesture in the air in a nod to the Young Bucks and performed Kenny Omega's gun gesture before pointing to the WrestleMania sign. The Young Bucks took to Twitter to address Cody Rhodes' shoutout by changing their Twitter bio, and their use of the "too sweet" gesture and gun in emoji form made it clear they noticed Cody's shoutout. After the Royal Rumble event, Cody talked about this gesture and said that he wanted to make things special, something the American Nightmare succeeded in doing. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful has reported that since his return, Cody's merchandise has been selling like crazy, and the road to WrestleMania is looking very good for the former TNT champion. The Men's Rumble was Cody's first match back after suffering a torn pectoral last June, but this return almost didn't happen. Speaking to Ariel Helwani after the match, Rhodes spoke about his recovery and said that the decision for him to wrestle was a last-minute call. "I went to the Performance Center. I remember I made a joke in AEW about a hip toss class. I did a hip toss class. Thank God for it. Actually, because I worked with, I won't say one guy's name because I don't want to blow his spot up, but I worked with Carmelo Hayes. Joe Gacy was the other guy. I don't know why I'm not crediting him. They were rough with me, they were rugged, it let me feel what I needed to know where to get. I can't wait for their opportunities to come because they are incredible wrestlers and incredible stars. That experience, I got partially cleared through that. I was able to do what I want, my mind was good, I was training heavily with PT, physical therapy, and an off-site team that my wife got for me. I didn't really get fully cleared until today. Looked good and everything was great, but they still had to get in there, grab it, feel on it. That's a wild situation. When you've been announced for the Royal Rumble, you've seen your shirts and seen the young fans. I think it was more of a formality than anything, but it still had me kind of shaking. WWE has been very good to me medically, very good. I'll be in physical therapy for the rest of my life though. I've been there every week and now I just have to do preventive stuff. It changed everything about how I've trained." If Rhodes wasn't cleared until the day of the Rumble, then that means that he hadn't been cleared when WWE announced his participation weeks ago, and plans nearly had to change. Thankfully, Rhodes was cleared in time and fans saw the American Nightmare get his biggest win in WWE to date, but this huge return was an extremely close call for both the former AEW TNT champion and for WWE. Was Cody the right call to win the Men's Rumble, or would you have gone with someone else? Sound off in the comments. More from the Royal Rumble, and after the biggest win of his wrestling career, the media world all wanted a part of Cody Rhodes, who was bombarded with questions on the post-Rumble press conference. In a nod to the retirement of Vince McMahon, Rhodes was asked about the changes made to WWE since he wrestled last June, as it was during Cody's hiatus that McMahon departed WWE and Triple H became Chief Content Officer. Rhodes spoke about his initial return to WWE at WrestleMania 38 and said that his previous experiences with WWE helped him to know what to expect upon returning to work with McMahon. Speaking about the game, who will now oversee Cody's creative future, the 2023 Men's Rumble match winner said that Triple H has plenty of reasons not to like him. I will say, I don't want to get mushy with it, but Triple H has no reason to be a fan of mine. If you really think about it, I smashed the throne in AEW, I took a lot of shots, always lighthearted, but I think he knew where I was coming from. I was hungry. While Cody never shied away from taking shots at WWE and Triple H, the belief is that the game is too much of a professional to let this get in the way of Rhodes' push, as both men will do what's best for business. Over to AEW now, as the company is home to several ex-WWE names, thanks in part to WWE's mass layoffs over the past few years. On Saturday, AEW held its latest set of tapings for AEW Dark, which marked the All-Elite debut of ex-NXT superstar EJ Nduka. The debut saw Nduka take on Konosuke Takeshita in singles competition, and it's unknown whether he has signed with AEW. Nduka tried out for WWE in December 2018 and April 2019 before being signed, and would work as Ezra Judge before being released in May 2021. After working with MLW, where he is a former World Tag Team Champion, Nduka became a free agent on January 1st of this year, and with reports of multiple promotions being interested in him, the future looks bright for the ex-NXT superstar. When it comes to the Royal Rumble, you never know who may show up in the 30-person match, and we've seen plenty of surprise debuts at January's annual event. While there were some returns this year, nobody made a debut for WWE at the Rumble, but one AEW star was in San Antonio. On social media, a photo has been doing the rounds of Ricky Starks being at the Alamo Dome with Cody Rhodes just prior to the Rumble, as the two remain good friends. Starks is actually a protege of Rhodes, so it shouldn't come as too much of a surprise that the AEW star was in Texas to support his friend. Before anyone gets too excited about Starks joining the American Nightmare in WWE, there has been no indication that he plans to leave AEW and seems very happy with his role in the promotion. Starks is currently being pushed as a breakout star in AEW after he has been on a winning streak as of late, and even recently beat Chris Jericho on Dynamite a few weeks ago. It looks like Starks has a big role to play in AEW, and it doesn't seem plausible that he could leave all that and move to WWE. However, it wouldn't be surprising if WWE offer him a contract given his skills, but for right now, he was just happy to watch his mentor punch his ticket to WrestleMania 39. Cody Rhodes wasn't the only emphatic return to WWE last year, as Bray Wyatt returned last October, but waited until the Royal Rumble to have his first televised match back. Last Saturday saw Wyatt defeat LA Knight in the first Pitch Black match, and speaking on the post-Rumble press conference, Bray said that he was very pleased with how things worked out. I feel incredibly satisfied. All the build-up, I don't think everyone realizes all the time and thought it takes, and the thought. Right now, it's a wonderful feeling, but it's been a wild week, a really wild week, but the payoff is now. After the Pitch Black match, Wyatt and Uncle Howdy continued to decimate Knight, as the relationship between Wyatt and the mysterious Dark Presence continues to only grow stronger. Uncle Howdy certainly looked menacing during the Royal Rumble, diving onto LA Knight from an elevated platform and causing sparks to fly everywhere. In an eerie, dark lighting, this was quite the spectacle for the fans watching at home, but the fans inside the Alamo Dome had a far less impressive show. In footage WWE definitely doesn't want you to see, Howdy can be seen hitting his elbow drop, but clearly didn't fully connect with LA Knight. Howdy may have simply misjudged the distance before making his jump, and the segment ended with the Firefly Funhouse puppets watching the carnage from above. While it was first believed that Uncle Howdy and Wyatt were at odds, the pair seemed to be on the same page this past weekend, though we hope any further alliance between the two will avoid botched spots like what fans in San Antonio got to see. The Pitch Black match wasn't the only part of the Royal Rumble that delved into the creepy and bizarre, as Alexa Bliss had a strange moment after her loss to Bianca Belair. The bizarre segment is the latest tease that Bliss will be doing something with Wyatt again, something that includes Uncle Howdy, And on the post-Rumble press conference, Wyatt said that something is indeed in the works. "I think that me and Alexa are connected forever no matter what. It's just kind of the way it's gone. And where it leads, I don't know, no one knows, but I feel like there will be something at some point and it will be memorable, I'm sure of that." While Wyatt spoke very vaguely about future plans for him and Bliss, it's being reported that these comments have angered Triple H, who did not appreciate Wyatt talking about future plans that haven't played out on TV. Bliss has been rumored for the Wyatt 6 stable, though we haven't heard on any developments for that group in quite some time, meaning we'll just have to keep tuned in to see what's next for Bray, Alexa, and Uncle Howdy. What do you think should come next in this storyline, and do you want to see Bliss and Wyatt reunite? Let us know in the comments. Alexa Bliss may not have captured the Raw Women's title last weekend, but she did have a better outing than Rey Mysterio, who didn't even get to appear on the show. Rey was supposed to enter at number 17 in the Men's Rumble match but didn't appear, and it was heavily implied that the number 18 entrant, Dominic Mysterio, had taken him out. As we reported yesterday, WWE is still considering a father versus son match for WrestleMania 39, but that's not the only reason Rey didn't make it to the Rumble. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that Rey Mysterio had suffered an injury which kept him off the show. Rey Mysterio was injured last night during the Laredo SmackDown tapings against Karrion Kross. He was going to be in the Rumble, but that spot was changed. What happened was they did a spot where he's supposed to come out, but didn't come out, and then Dominic comes out. I think they were supposed to do some teases with them at the Rumble to set up the WrestleMania match. Obviously, they couldn't do that because Rey was injured, and Dominic, I guess, came out with Rey's mask with the idea that somehow Judgment Day beat Rey up backstage, and Dominic had the mask, and that's the way they're going to do the angle. Hopefully Rey's injury isn't serious, but I guess it was serious enough that he couldn't do what was planned in the match. Wade Keller has added that Rey is injured in multiple places, including his ankle, but the nature and extent of the other injury is unknown. It was said that had Rey competed, that he still would have had some interacting with Dominic that would have built to the father versus son match for WrestleMania 39. While Rey didn't compete, Dominic lasted in the Rumble match for over 25 minutes and was one of the last few names eliminated, and expect Mysterio to remind everyone of this on tonight's episode of Raw. And we're ending with Rhea Ripley, who made history last weekend, not only by winning the Women's Rumble match, but by becoming the first woman to win from the number 1 spot. Ripley was in the ring for over an hour before she tossed out Liv Morgan to win, but the Eradicator was certainly left worse for wear. On Twitter, Ripley shared some of the scars she received during the match, and several bruises could be seen clearly, and in the caption, she said that 2023 is the year of Rhea Bloody Ripley. During the match, Ripley suffered a broken nose when she headbutted B-Fab before eliminating the Hit Row member, and Rhea still stole the show with her incredible 61-minute performance. A broken nose wasn't the only notable injury for the Australian, who during the post-show press conference said that she dislocated her knee briefly during the match. Now Ripley has 61 days to heal up before she challenges for the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39, but who she chooses to face remains to be seen.